रिफ्रेश करना।
What is Ivan?
That is a good question. Could we start again?
Our goal is really just to... I'm so nervous. Okay, I'm sorry. What is Ivan?
I want to say a great bunch of people what we are working for our customers, helping our customers. Okay. Ivan.
What is Ivan?
Is company
That is a good question.
Could we start again? Our goal is really just to... I'm so nervous. What is Ivan? Okay, I'm sorry. What is Ivan?
I want to say a great bunch of people what we are working for our customers, helping our customers. Ivan is company that is
It really has customers from all over the spectrum.
Raise your hand if you've been using
I'm
Linux
talking
on
to
the
the
desktop
accountants
for 29 years.
That's maybe a problem.
They are really happy and enthusiastic.
I've learned everything. No, don't say that.
Raise your hand if you've been using Linux on the desktop for 29 years. Hi. That's kind of cool.
With a one single click or a few clicks.
So,
So what I'm trying to say that a small company like Ivan can help big organization.
Come and join us.
No, okay, I don't want to say big organization.
You're not expected to know everything, but what you are expected to do is have the eagerness to learn new things. Oh, I'm sweating. Love all of you. Come and join us.
Join Ivan and we're hiring.
I'm so glad I don't have to do this anymore.
Hi, welcome to FemtechConf Conference 2023. My name is Mariam Yakub and I work as a data analyst. Today, I'll be talking to you about how we can bridge the gender gap in the tech industry. So, as we all know that the gender gap is quite an important topic that needs to be addressed because the less women that are being represented in the industry, then the less likely we would be able to see innovations that would represent women more. So let's go and talk about this. We can see that the tech industry is one of the fastest growing industry right now. When we talk about innovations and products and services that are currently around us right now, we can see that it is an industry that's quite important in our day-to-day lives. And for this reason, it is quite important to us, basically. However, we can still see the trend that a lot of women are underrepresented within the industry. When you see the statistics of women and men that are actually working in the industry, you tend to see more men working in a tech role than a woman. This gender imbalance not only limits the diversity and ideas within the industry, it also deprives women of the economic and professional benefits that comes with the career. So we can see how important talking about this kind of issues and addressing it then comes into play, because we want to see a lot of women coming into the industry, contributing their own ideas into innovations and seeing more of representation of women. So take, for example, the car crash safety within a car was not tested on a female dummy up until maybe a year ago right now. So before like a year ago, the safety car crash was specifically designed or only tested using a male dummy. What you can see from this example is that you would then be able to sort of like tell that there is a high chance that majority of the people that were involved in this testing or probably design of this safety car crash testing were probably males. They were probably dominated by men, and that's maybe the reasons why women was not really considered while testing this. And what that means is that women were more likely to get into a car crash because this wasn't tested on a female dummy. So this is just an example to show you how important women should get involved in the industry. So let's talk about the statistics. This statistics demonstrates the significance of the gender gap and also highlights the efforts that needs to be put in place to ensure diversity in the sector. According to TechNation, only 26% of the women in the workforce work in the tech industry. This shows quite a very low percentage of people in the tech industry that are women. Also, we can see that within the leadership areas where only 12% of the board level positions for like 500 top companies are women. So when decisions or policies are being put in place, if we don't have enough representation, what that means is there are high likelihood that policies that favors men are put in place than the ones that favor both gender. In terms of the pay equality as well, we can see that for the same position, men are being paid higher than the women counterparts. This is something that needs to be addressed. Also, the percentage of the girls that take up computer science at the A levels within the UK as of 2021 is just 21%. So this is coming from the grassroots. If we can already see this pattern from the A levels where just very few of girls are taking computer science or are actually even showing interest in tech, you can see how much of an influence it is for them to actually finish up from school and actually wanting to take up a tech role. So I feel like this issue has to be addressed mainly from the grassroots. So when I talk about the grassroots, I'm talking about from the homes, from the schools. So grassroots in terms of like preparing the mindsets of young girls that they can achieve and they can do anything that they want to do, rather than having that stereotype in their head that, or in their mind that certain roles or certain careers are made for men and other careers are made for women. So growing up as from an African home, I can share an instance where we already have the mindset that men are or boys are meant to do this and girls are only meant to do this, or girls are only meant to be in the kitchen and just taking care of the homes. And it only took a great parent to understand that it was even important to educate the female child. So I think this is something we sort of need to like address right from the homes, where we need to enlighten and create that gender equality amongst the boy and the girl child, by also encouraging and educating them, their mindset, preparing their mindset for them to be able to challenge and break into whatever they want to do, rather than having that stereotypes that certain areas are meant for boys and certain areas are meant for girls. So let's talk about some of the causes of the gap right now. As I was saying, I think the biggest cause, or like the major reasons why we have this much gap, would be stereotypes and biases. Like I said, a lot of these things comes from the mindset that is been pre-built into the girl child even before going into education or going in as a professional. So a lot of this unconscious bias that comes from the homes, the social media, even the books and the cartoons that the children watch. There are a lot of unconscious bias where heroes um, are represented by maybe boys or men, or um, we see cartoons that shows that maybe engineers, and then there are only men engineers there. So I think one of the causes definitely is the, the stereotype and the biases that discourage women that act to girls basically, and women generally, to actually pursue this career, which also limits their opportunity for advancement. The second cause would be lack of representation. So humans generally, they like to sort of like tend they tend to sort of like shift to areas where they feel more safe, more represented. So naturally, I would tend to like attend events that I feel like I could see a lot of people that are um, like me, that I could share common thoughts with. That's an example. Also, taking, for example, the lack of role models and mentors from in the tech industry that could actually help facilitate that interest from um, within the girl child who is still trying to develop or find a foot on the choice of career that she would like to work in. Other courses also are unequal access to education and training. So take, for example, like I mentioned earlier, that in an African setting, there are still some countries that believes that girls don't need to go to school, or they are only limited to certain level of education. This is totally wrong. And I feel like it has also contributed to how much of a gap that we are seeing in the industry. I think it's limiting the high quality education that girls actually um, girls are exposed or have the opportunity of gaining from. Also, the workplace culture. I think only of recent that we have seen quite a number of organizations that are opening their doors into to um, employing more women and creating that um, balance in terms of like the gender. A lot of industries are still yet to like give that opportunity to women because they feel like these certain sector is not for women. They feel like they're still shutting doors on women basically, and I feel like it's something that needs to be addressed as well. And you can see that the tech culture, in some tech companies, the culture are sort of like hostile to women and are not inclusive enough to encourage women to take up roles in such organizations. Also, the hiring practices. So this sometimes they prioritize the technical skills to the soft skills. This is totally wrong because I can specifically tell you, as a data analyst, you don't only need the tech skills for you to be successful. It has to be a balance of the tech and the soft skills, because you being analytical, you being very curious, and you being assertive, having that good communication and stakeholder management skills helps you a long way when it comes to like working as a data analyst, for instance. So it is quite unfortunate that a lot of companies, they feel like the tech skills, they're prioritizing, they prioritize the tech skills over the soft skills, which shows plays as a major disadvantage to women um, to excel in the hiring processes. So let's talk about the ways that we can bridge this gap. So I would be recommending the 3 E's. This is our, like, I call them like the 3 E's of bridging the gender gap within the industry. So the first one is education, excitement, and encouragement. So let's talk about this one after the other. Education definitely is an important step while trying to bridge the gap. So when I talk about educating, this does not only focus on educating the girls or the females or women generally. I feel like it's something that we need to also incorporate the men, the boys, educate every one of us, and address the biases and stereotypes that are within the industry. This also involves recognizing and challenging biases, stereotypes, and that limits the opportunity for underrepresented groups and culture. So, take for example, a way that an organization would help bridge the gap would be randomly educating their employees, both men and women, to sort of like address the stereotypes and biases, and help them to accommodate each other, and foster inclusive environment, basically. Also, by promoting the diversity and inclusion within the work environment, within the social environment, within the schools as well, within the home as well. It is something we need to sort of like encourage by always like educating in whatever avenue that we have. Excitement, basically. So I feel like we need to sort of like create that atmosphere of excitement that encourages or that makes the girl child more interested in actually wanting to know about tech. Example would be networking events. So events where they can meet with other women that are in the tech industry already, that are already working, and they can share their experiences. I see that a lot of these things are coming right now with a lot of tech communities that are hosted events. This is a good initiative, basically, and I would personally encourage more of this because it creates like a safe space for women to come in, to share their vulnerability, to learn from other people, from other women, how they have been able to sort of like deal with the stereotypes or the fears of getting involved, basically. And then let's talk about the encouragement. So how do we encourage women to take up tech roles, and even to also encourage women that are already in the tech industry to climb up the ladder, because aside the fact that very reduced number of women come into the industry, even the little that are in the industry, we can see the patterns that a lot of the women are dropping off. And this can be as a result of maybe intimidation or underrepresentation within the workplace that they are working, or within the organization that they are working. I feel like encouragement is another is a great way to sort of like support women through mentorship programs and outreach. Basically, personally, I have gained a lot of experience and support through mentorship. I feel like this is a great initiative um, for women to get more experience and feel more inclusive, because they can talk to people that are already up in the ladder. And this also helps women and encourages them to be inclusive, to be able to sort of like share innovative ideas which can help them build up their professional careers. Outreach programs, basically, this would be by engaging underrepresented communities, by organizing outreach programs, education, sharing free resources or materials that can actually help women to pursue their career in tech. Thank you for listening, and I would be delighted to take any of your questions now.
Hello everyone, myself Nishta Shukla and I am a product evangelist at Bagisto. First of all, I would like to thank Femtech for organizing this event and I'm very happy to be a part of this conference. I am here today to talk about Bagisto, like how Bagisto have started, how many ups and downs are there, how many problems we have faced, and how was the journey from there till now. So I'm going to start like here. This is the slide of myself. Like my experience is cloud services, e-commerce, and FOSS. The next one is the beginning of the Bagisto. So I would like to talk about first what is the reason why we have started Bagisto. So I would like to start with the beginning, that it was started in 2018. Our parent company named Webkul started in 2010, has been working in the e-commerce projects. Like it has been working more than 22 projects, and continuously being in touch with the e-commerce projects. They have faced many advantages and so many of disadvantages. At the end, the major issue what we have faced, that the newcomers which are coming from the colleges, they have the knowledge of something new. Everybody knows that the new candidates have some knowledge apart from the senior ones. So the problem is that they don't have any platform to create their website, because at that time there were Magento, Odoo, and these platforms were so big, and just to work on these platforms, they have to learn their framework. So that was not easy. So for this, what we have we found out one language at Laravel. The name is Symfony. This was like very platform specific. So this was the first thing which we have found out, that there was a bridging gap. There was a gap between the new developers and the platform, and which was created due to the unavailability of the platform. So we have identified this gap which was created because of this issue. The next thing what we have identified is Laravel. It was the most trending framework at that time, but there was no such kind of framework available on Laravel, on which the newcomers can come and directly work on these kind of platforms. So like if they really want to work on Laravel, so for that what they have to do, they have to build these platforms from scratch. So there are two gaps which we found out that time. I can say these gaps, like bridging the gap, and these issues made us to lead the you can say the beginning of Bagisto, because we want that our new developers should have the right and should have a platform to create their website, and if they know Laravel, so they can create their website very easily. The next thing, if I talk about, that is why open source. I guess everybody knows what is open source. Open source is a kind of platform from where you can create your website and everybody can see that website. Open source means open to all. So the next one in open source, the main reason why we have started open source is diverse collaboration. Everybody must be having their own opinions, but in my opinion, I would like to say work as an open source is like a very good thing. If you have started your platform on an open source, then more people will going to see your project, and if more people will going to see your project, that means more people are getting involved in it, and they were going to raise queries, issues and concerns as well. And if there are queries, concerns and issues, you will be able to improve your platform as well, and it will also create a direct link between the audience and your platform. So open source is a good thing. You can create your website on an open source. The second thing, if I talk about, is company's root. The company's root, that means our Webkul's root. Like Webkul is found in 2010 and it was based on an open source platform. Mr. Vipin Sahu and our co-founders have worked on so many projects, like on Joomla, open source CMS, Magento, Odoo, and there are so many open source platforms on which our founders have worked, and they have learned a lot from open source. So now I can say that we have, like, open source have given us so much. So now this was our turn to give it back to our community. What we have learned from open source, now we are going to give it back to our community. So I can say that open source has given us a lot. So this was the only reason why we made Bagisto as an open source platform. So the next one, if I'll talk about, is early stage growth. What is the early stage growth, how we have started? The first thing is building the community. So if I say the starting stage of Bagisto is building the community. I guess everybody knows what is community. Community is the people from whom we interact, who use our services, who work on our services. So those are community. And I can say, if you build a community, then you win the war of open source. Building a community, first thing we did by going to other communities, by interacting with them, by going to other companies, by showing them our demos, letting them know about Bagisto. So these are the things what we did to grow our community more and more. Like if anybody wants to connect with us with Bagisto, so they can connect on WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. We are available on every social media platform, and you can connect with us very easily. And the second thing what we have faced in the early stage was SERP ranking. I guess everybody knows that for getting recognition, we should be on the top. So for that, we have to work hard. And what we have thought that for growing our business and reaching to the market, what we have to do, we made a strategy that Bagisto is based on Laravel. So, and Laravel is based on e-commerce systems. So it has to be on the top ranking of SERP. So what was our strategy? What we have followed? We have optimized our content, we have optimized our things, and then we have optimized what is going on in the market. And then we have compared both the things. So what we have conclude in from that I can say it has to be, on the top. The content should be on the same level. What is demanded in the market, we should provide the same thing to them. So for coming on top in SERP, we improved our data, we improved our working, and if you checked, right now also, you can see Bagisto is still in the top of SERP. This was the strategy which we have followed in the Bagisto, and I guess Bagisto is in the top 2 from the last 3 years in SERP ranking. So the next one is open all doors. Open all doors as in open to all. Anybody can connect to us, anybody can reach to us via LinkedIn, via WhatsApp, via Twitter, Instagram, from any social media, from wherever you want, you can connect to us. This means that we are open for all. The next one, if I'll talk about, that is CD, fast releases. CD, that means continuous development. We have identified that we are not able to release the project on time. It is taking too much of time, so many issues in GitHub which are not getting solved on time, and that's why we are not able to release those projects. So what we have decided, we made a strategy that we're going to release 2 projects in a month. We're going to solve the issues, we're going to solve the queries which are coming on the GitHub, and then we're going to resolve all those things, and then we're going to give the project back to the community so that the community can use it updated so that the community can use the updated one from the older version of Bagisto. This was among the one of the strategies which we have followed. The next one is free support. Free support at the start. we have decided that we're going to give a free support to all the customers. Like if in case anyone is having any kind of query, any kind of concern, any kind of issues related to Bagisto, so they are not able to understand even Bagisto, they can come to us, they can raise an issue by, they can come to our channel, they can raise a ticket, they can come to our forum, and the support is given to them. Like our community feel they are having any kind of issues, they can come to us. Like Bagisto peoples are always there for them to support, and also that too free of cost. You can come to us 24/7, and we are there to help you out in any case. So now if I talk about the next one, that is going global. Like how we have decided that we will not only just going to be localized in India or Delhi NCR, but we will also going to take our Bagisto to the world, like to showcase everyone. For this, what we have decided, we did like once we get to know that we are getting approached by the customers from the different countries, so we have decided that we're going to talk with them, and the customers who are raising queries, concern, or want to work with Bagisto, we found out them and we talked to them that like what exactly they want, how they they feel about Bagisto, is it good, or like they are having any concern. So we had a discussion with them, and that too through LinkedIn and Twitter. So we asked them their experience, then we have decided then that we're going to give some of them the batches, right? And if we have like given the batches, especially in those countries from where we are getting too much of approaches for this same, right? So right now also we are having ambassadors in Southern America, Central Asia, and Belgium, who helped us in doing meetups in their countries and making groups, also creating plugins for the people living in their country. So this was the first thing, that we have appointed ambassadors in different countries for our Bagisto, so that they can promote our product in their country, and they can also help us to get to know what exactly their people wants, so that we can create plugins and we can serve them according to their needs. So this was the first thing we have started for going global. The next thing is region-based development. As we are from India, so we do India-specific development, right? But I guess everybody having their different regions, but the one thing is common, that is India. But like in different countries, this is not common. So for this, we did that the ambassadors from different countries, we had a discussion with them regarding the business and the economy which is going on in their countries. Like in Europe, Paydot is working, it is trending, I can say. So if people want to start their business with Bagisto, they can use the plugins and can create their website. So this will going to help them, because they are habitual to this, like to the economy which is going on in their country, not with the economy which is going in our country. So that's why we have did this region-based development. The next one is events and roadshows. We do so many of events, so many of roadshows, okay? For that, even in different countries, for that what we did, we asked our ambassadors to organize events and roadshows, and we provide them goodies. So this is how we are promoting our Bagisto in other countries, and it is also helping them to get motivated, because events and roadshows always give a boost up to the employees as well, to the customers as well, that this brand is trying so much to get recognition. The next one is sponsoring hackathons. This is the least we do for our community. We always sponsor the events which are taking place in other countries, either by sending talks, speakers, goodies, hampers, gifts to those who are taking part in the events and in the road shows. So these are the things which we decided in the early stages for our Bagisto. The next thing is innovative partnership. I can say that this was the best thing what we have did. Innovative partnership is like we invite developers and ask them to create a plugin on our platform. That means on Bagisto. And if they are doing so we have offered them 3 offers. The first one, if they will going to create a plugin for Bagisto, we will going to list their plugins on our Bagisto market. And the second one is that we will going to promote their plugin among our customers, and also we're going to help them in selling their plugin to our customers. The third thing and the most important thing, that we will not going to charge even a 0% commission on that. This was an innovative partnership we did, and because of this, at present Bagisto is having more than 100 extensions, and 30% of them is just because of this plugin, as they know that we are the only one who are going to help them, support them, and even not going to charge for it. So this was a kind of innovative partnership which we have decided to work with our developers. The next one is bootstrapped. I guess everybody knows what is bootstrapped. Bootstrapped is something doing from your own side, providing funds, providing resources, providing everything from your own, not taking help of anyone else in the market and in the cooperate as well. So trust deficit with community. Now I would like to tell you that Bagisto is completely bootstrapped. This like the main reason behind is that I myself have an opinion, and our co-founders is having the same opinion, that we don't want to make any kind of trust issues with our community, because in any ways, if the community get to know that we are having any kind of sponsorships, we are having any kind of funds, then some or the other way they think that they have to show some kind of balance sheet and some kind of paid models. So we don't want to create any misconception, we don't want to create any kind of misconceptions with our community. That's why we said that Bagisto is free and will also going to free in future as well. We will going to keep it bootstrap, and I want to convey to everyone right now also that Bagisto is free and will also going to be free. The next one is ethos mindset. There is nothing like we don't got any approach from venture capitalists. We do got approaches from venture capitalists, but the issue is that the opinion doesn't match. Their opinions is like they want us to build something to generate revenue, to earn from the community. But our opinion was totally straight, that we don't want to earn from our community. We are free and we will always be free. So this was the thing, you can say, that we are not working with any venture capitalists because the opinions doesn't match. So that's why we are working like on our own. The next one is Bagisto for next 100 years. This was also one of the things said by some of the venture capitalists. They have that feeling that we have started Bagisto and we're going to work for a few years. But let me tell you one thing, that we are not going to take an exit from the market. We are working in the market, and we will going to work in the market for more than 100 plus years as well. The next one is Bagisto equals to community. What is community? Bagisto is community. If I can say, Bagisto is a mirror image of the community. Community is everything to us. It has given us a lot of support, and even today, if I am standing here and telling you about Bagisto, this is just because of the community, and the community is supporting us from last 4 years, and because of them only we are able to make plugins, optimizing platforms, and we are doing everything just because of the community. The backbone of Bagisto. Community is the backbone of Bagisto. If they are not giving us the idea what to do, what not to do, we will not be able to build anything from our own, because we are not working from our own. We are working because of the community, because community is telling us what they want, and according to their needs, we are providing them the products or the plugins. According to their needs, we are building up, right? Suppose we are creating a CRM. For that also, we're going to discuss with the community exactly what are their requirements, what they actually want from us. Then only we're going to, create CRM. Otherwise, we will not be able to create CRM without their advice, without their support. The next one is community-oriented developments. Community-oriented developments means we are doing everything just for the community. We are not doing anything for us, anything with because of us. We are doing everything for the community and because of the community. So community, we do all those things just because they support us, they give us ideas, and they are, day by day raising their queries. So that's why we are improving ourselves. The next one is monthly roundups and events. This is the most important discussion which we used to have at the end of the month, because in this discussion we used to discuss other countries' losses we are facing. According to this, we will going to have a discussion with the community and work in Bagisto. Whatever the community suggests us for making Bagisto, to bear the losses which we are bearing in other countries. So in this discussion, basically what we do, we discuss the whole thing which we have done in the month. We discuss the queries, the issues which we are facing in other countries, so that we can improve it and can improve day by day and can come on top. The next one is security concern, the most important topic. I guess everybody is having security concerns, security issues. The first one is test cases. So everybody sitting here must be thinking about the security concern. So I'll be going to tell you what we did from the start regarding the security concern. The first thing is, whenever any kind of pull request initiate from the customer's end, it get verified, and once it get verified, it goes to the for maintenance, for checking by the maintenance. And it's not like that we are the only maintenance. There are other maintainers also sitting on the other countries. They are having a, like you can say, keep an eye on the pull requests which are coming to us. So once the pull request comes to us, they overview it, and once it get purified from everywhere, then only it comes to our developer, and then our developer work on those pull requests. The next thing is alerts. I guess in every open source platform, there is nothing that everyone is doing everything is from their own. Some or the other way, everyone is dependent on the third party. So like the same way we are dependent on the alerts. Like we get updates, we get alerts for the new updates, so that we can change our older version to our new version. And for this only we used to take the help of alerts. Alerts help us to keep updated, so that we can update the new version of our any platform or in the Bagisto itself. The next one is learning. The most important thing, that what we learn at the end from everything, because it is the mindset of everyone that whenever we are doing something, so we want some revenue from that, we want some learning from it. So what learning we get from this? Community as a family. Now I'm going to tell you what we have learned in last 4 years, and whatever we have done, what kind of strategies we have followed, and what we are doing till now, and what we are supposed to do in the future. Like we will going to follow the same process in the next upcoming years. So the first thing is that treat your community as a family. If you take your community with you, community will take you with will take your, or I can say will take care of you, right? So I can say the community help us to grow and take your open source platform to the world. In simple and short terms, if I will say, if you take care of your community, community will going to take care of you. So you have to take care each and every member of the community. The next one is content is the king. I can promise on this that we have been working organically there is no inorganic process involved, like spending money on marketing, on doing ads in Google. We haven't did all these things. We haven't huge amount huge spended huge amount on these things. We have working organically, like I can say we are focused. The content is something on which we have focused. We are focusing on like writing a good content. If you have written something good and to the to the point, then that will definitely will going to viral and will going to give a good result without spending any amount on it. So we are focusing on the content, and we are writing the content according to the different regions, and we are promoting our content on the different social media platforms, and everybody who are liking it, they are following it on their own. So the next point is support is the key. Whenever the community is approaching you, you have to be there for your community. You must make sure that you are there for the community, but it should not look like that you are keep on asking the questions to the community 24 to 48 hours. So for this, we have made a strategy that will going to be give a very quick response from the start. Like people coming to us, they are coming to our chat, they are coming to us through tickets for help. So we are there to help them out 24/7 whenever they are coming to us. But we can't do that. We are keep on asking questions just for our comfort, because we are not the one who are having issues. They are the one who are having issues. So just make sure that they can feel it, that you are there for them whenever they are having any kind of issues, and we just want to give them a quick response within 5 minutes. Okay. The next one is motivation in small things. I guess everybody believes that motivation is the very strong thing from which we can defeat anything, right? And even if you are starting a startup, so motivation is the most important thing, because you got so many demotivations. You yourself get demotivated, but for that you have to get self-motivate, because self-motivations comes from your side. Nobody can give us self-motivation. So we got motivated from these small things, like having a single star in GitHub, single review on Trustpilot, and download views increasing day by day. Because of these, we feel like how much pull requests coming from the community side, and they're like it is getting resolved as well, because the people's resolve the queries, concerns of the community. So they are contributing their precious kind of options. So because what the scenario of big companies, they want huge investors, huge amount of money. They don't want to work with these small companies. So what we have decided, we have invited all kind of companies, even the freelancers, to come and work with us and just to create e-commerce platform with us. So this was the strategy we have started to work with all the companies and freelancers as well. The next one is contributor recognition. This is also something that we do. We give recognitions to our contributors whenever we got some kind of pull request, and if it get resolved, then we do recognize to the peoples by providing goodies, gift hampers, small gifts. And also what we do, we give them recognitions on our social media platform. What this doesn't make so much of sense, but what it gives a very huge impact to that person, because that person will going to feel like yes, he or she must did something very good. That's why they are getting recognized, and recognition is the big thing what we can give to our contributors who are contributing their time, who are resolving the queries which we are getting on GitHub day by day. So contributor recognition is the most important thing. The next thing is keep platform intact. This is the thing which we do till now. Like suppose what happened, people come to us and they say that they are using Bagisto and now they want this feature, the particular feature, but that feature is out of their budget. So what happens, it's not falling to our budget even. So in this case, we never say no to our customer. We always say yes. This is the best strategy of ours. So for this, what we do, we just pass that lead to our partners, and we don't even charge even a single percent from our partners as well, because it doesn't matter to Bagisto that we are providing services to our customers or either our partners. We just want that our customer gets satisfied from us, and he or she should not go to other website. So that's why we just take that lead and give it to our partners so that they can provide that thing to our customers, just to keep our customers with us. The next is technology sovereignty. We should have a strong developer base in this. So strong developer base means people are involving more in our culture. And as you can see, India is the third largest contributor to GitHub. And few weeks back, GitHub launched its GitHub India, where we have seen India is on the second positions. That means the number of people increasing day by day who are working on an open source. And I guess that day is not so far when India will going to be on the top of this ranking. The second thing is independent technology power. In COVID, everybody have seen that the countries are facing so many of problems. Like just giving an example that for example, some country have made some kind of technology. So in COVID, they were just using that technology for their people. They were not giving the technology to others because it was a bad time for everyone. So what we have decided, the people, we have decided for our people, we're going to make that technology in our country only, and we're going to consume the technology which is actually created out of India, so that we can be independent. Next is the open source approach. It's not possible for India to build something only for the Indians. So India has to follow the open source, because I guess if I can say, if you are doing something new, so it also gives training, it also create this job, right? So India started working on open source platforms as well, and this is why, or you can say this is the only thing, India has to make software for the world, so that the world can say India is a nation of an open source country. And now here I'm going to end up with my slides. This is how the Bagisto have started, and this was the journey, like the ups and downs, the problems, the issues. I guess every startup have. So like the same way we have, we also have the same problems faced in the early stages of Bagisto. So this was much about our Bagisto, and still if you want to know more about Bagisto, so you can go to our websites which are mentioned in the slides. And lastly, thanks for watching. Have a good day ahead.
Hi, myself Neha Chandel. I am a FOSS Evangelist at Webkul. Firstly, I would like to thank Femtech to organize this event and introducing myself with my topic, that is open source is a new resume. Well, I would like to start with my company that we are started in 2010 with e-commerce domain and with like multiple platforms. Here we have faced many up and downs, and currently we are the best coming and best creating marketplace and point of sales booking systems, and even though warehouse management mobile apps in the competitive market. Here I would like to start with my main topic presentation slide, that is open source. Open source software is any computer softwares that is actually inbuilt the individuality between people who can view the source code, view and edit the source code and modify it as per their requirement. Even they can also redistribute the source code between the other people. Now, the state of open source. Basically, companies are focusing to promote innovations, and they believe that open source promote their individuality, and company are actually finding it is secure and fast towards the traditional application. Here companies are actually focused to the security and the growth of main product, and mostly 90% of companies are focusing to Git and GitHub profiles to hire the particular candidates to their positions, and 94 million of people are registers themselves as developer of GitHub. Now, they are actually choosing an open source vendors as because IT leaders are mainly select the vendors contributions on their open source community. Community is basically those people who have their like they can see the source code, and they can even test it by their own wish, and they do not even they can't even edit the source code. They can view it, they can even contribute themselves with the preparing documents related with the source. Now, why to choose open source vendor? Basically, people are familiar with the source code professions, and they are familiar with their skills and developing the source developing the code as per the requirement. People can even necessary development to their projects, and they can show their contribution to particular project. And it is also because community is open to all. Any developer can edit and view the source code and modify it according to you, and it is actually very helpful. The technical challenges, people are happy to help to other developers as well. It is this is why it is actually very technically free and technically essential to the any developers. Like it can help to a software with a high quality of software security and providing them to secure and test code base. Well, just give me a few minutes. Well, we are in our next slide, that is closed source to the open source close. Basically, in a traditional way, we are very close to the source code. Like we can't communicate with the other developers. We can't even share our code to other. It is actually a drawback to any developer. With the open source code, it is actually promote their customization in a code base with the help of other developers, and it is make it secure and fast to the like last and traditional applications. It can influence the development necessary features of the help and healthy like healthy growth of any developer. And it is it is more challenging in traditional applications. Instead of now people can easily help to other developers with the help of community in open source. Now I am moving to next, that is state of security. In open source, it is actually very secure because people can contribute to the any code with, and they can find the bugs, and they can even help to other developers that and make it correct to make it very secure and make it very high quality kind of product. And in a competitive market, it is very important. Well, IT leaders are believing open source is a secure and more propagate software, because actually people can edit any source code with the help of community and in open source. It make it the well tested and like in their very easily help, right? And security patch the well document, like any people can help to their developers. Even if you can't make it develop by changing in a code, you can maintain and you can prepare a document related to the code. If community, there is a community who can have an eye on the code, and they can edit, and they can find the bugs to inform the developers that there is a bug, and they can help it, and they can developers can easily find find any bugs, and even they can make it correct as per the community see the bugs. Well, let's move to our next part of this presentation, Git and GitHub. Git is basically an DevOps tools which is used for the source code management, and GitHub is basically a Git repository hosting server, and it is the largest code community as well. Well, let's move to our next slide, in which we are actually explaining a practical scenario of before Git. Like developers actually are submitting their codes to central server without having their any copy to themselves, and they can even if developers are doing any changes in the source code, it is never ever have a copy, through which it is actually unknown to other developers, and there is no communication between the other developers, through which there is a kind of complexity in the developing a code. And when we talk about when Git is introduced to any developing a source code, there is a different scenario, and it is actually helpful and very secure. As you can see it in this GitHub scenario, like people are actually communicating with other developers, and there is a communication between people, and through which any developer can see other code and look to the bugs and introduce a new developing and best code to the company. And every developer have a separate copy of each code, and every bugs can be tracked by the other developers. Well, let's move to our main part of this presentation, traditional resume versus open source resume. Well, what is resume according to you? Well, company needs to focus on resume, as we talk about like we talk about resume in a traditional approach, companies are actually focusing to the one page of resume, and they are actually have a technical rounds to find the one person to their positions. Now we need to focus how we can we can cut the time and we can save our time and find the potential candidate to our main positions. Well, let's see what is actually a Git and GitHub profile which make company easier to find a potential candidate. Well, let's move to the GitHub profile. Here you can see that we have actual screenshot of GitHub profile where you can see that developer have their own and what he's actually worked on the projects and repository. Repository is actually through which companies can have like overview and what the candidate worked on with their name on any projects. Actually, with the help of repository, companies can see the contribution of the developers on the projects, and they can find the value of main contributed people and make them notice that actually it is a best candidate to them. Okay, this can be very like helpful to any company. Here you can see also that company can hire that particular person who have the main qualities to being hired. Well, in this screenshot you can see that candidate have the whole informations related to the background, related to the social media links, and in which the language the developer is familiar. Through repository, they can find the actual contribution of that particular developer. And here you can see the third icon, that is for the projects, that developer who is actually done that contribution with the projects. Actually, the main thing is developer needs to communicate and collaborate with the projects that can be easily handled by any community. A community will help to find the bugs and will help you with like find a solution to a particular bug. And here you can see that we have this track part of any solving part of the candidate. Here that you can identify the developers and the candidates who have actually contributed their actually worked. Like you can find him with their name, not even the page. Okay. When you are starting with the developing and introducing yourself in GitHub profile, firstly you have to make a patience, like you need to work with the projects and work with the community, and you have to make a patience yourself while you have like lot of time to contributing yourself in like projects and in the community. After a long time, like after a few time, you will get a proper like you can have a proper GitHub packages, and you will have the achievement scores as well. You will receive the stars of contributing yourself in the projects. Here you can see the get started with GitHub packages, through which you earn with your own contribution. And even companies make it very recognize that people are actually using GitHub, and you have the caliber to join them. Okay, it is not just a code, it is just more than that. When you are helping to any company or any project, finding bugs and finding many any suggestions to like if I am a developer, I find something good and I have a suggestion, I can do my suggestions to the company and they can acquire it. You will like as a developer, I will have my main contribution in my GitHub profile. As a company, I can hire that particular person who have the innovation thoughts which is actually helpful to the others. That is why it is not just a code, it is more than that. Well, here the picture of the community. When I talk about in my presentation about the community. Basically, community is the main part of any open source platform, just because they are actually helping them to developing themselves, to make a part of this family and make a contribution towards the projects. And community is actually helpful, and they taught you that you not even if you are not able to find the bugs, you are not able to edit the code, you can also understand the code and find a suggestion and make a document to them. It is also helpful to them. As a company, I will must say that strong contribution is always a job offer to a company. When you are contributing to any product, that means you are contributing to your profile, not you the company. You are making yourself very potential as a developer. And when we talk about how a company can find a main potential, as I can tell you that company can hire the candidate who have the relevant and the potential to being in the part of the next company. Company can find the individuality towards the contribution and communication with the community, and the contribution to the product, who is actually shown the management skills to the company. And community collection knowledge, it is something when developer is actually developing their skills by communicating with community, by developing a code towards, and it is actually it is find the community collective knowledge, just because the developer is now part of the community. And company can have a potential candidates. Now I would like to thanks once again to the Femtech. Thanks for inviting me to introduce myself with my topic. Thank you.